This rebuild was requested over on my TikTok channel, and here we go. This one is going to be absolutely top notch. We're managing Hammarby in Sweden. I personally have never done a save in Sweden before, so this is going to be the first time, but it is going to be the best time. And here we go. Holdmyheim goes to Hammarby. I'm hopefully pronouncing their name correctly. I wouldn't be surprised if I'm not, because, hey, that's what we do over on this channel. We are in the Europa Conference League by the look of it, and media's predicting us to finish in 5th place. We were founded in 1889 as well, which is one of Sweden's oldest clubs. We had the best spell of success during the early 2000s. We're going to bring back success to this football club, I can tell you that for a fact. Looking at a 4-3-3 formation, we'll have a look. I'll show you which tactics I'm going to use in this rebuild. The board want us to strive to make progress on and off the pitch. That's what a rebuild's all about, striving to rebuild the football club. 1-year contracts for players over 34. Players will not be playing at my football club at 34, I can tell you that. Finishing in the Premier League's top 4 places in the Swedish division. They want us to, by the end of the 26th season, want us to challenge for the Premier League title and maintain a Premier League title challenge in Sweden by the end of 2027. Now, the director of football is telling us what he expects from us at this football club. Entertaining football, attacking ball, develop young players. And the supporter expectations, well, they align with what the board want, but they do have some other ones as well. Be competitive against Malmo. They are the biggest club in Sweden. Shout out to Zlatan, who used to play for them. Finish above IFK Gothenburg in the league as well. Maintain a higher reputation than Häcken, and finish above Djurgårdens in the league as well. AIK is our biggest rival in this save. They want us to finish above them as well. The supporters have big boy expectations for us, let me tell you that. Let's get in now to taking a look at the squad, the finances, and the tactics that we will use throughout this save. I think the most logical place to start will be the club finances, and we're looking at £5.7 million in the bank, which for the Swedish division, I won't sniff at that. That's fairly decent. In terms of debts and loans, we don't have transfer debt and no net debt, so very, very good clean slate to start with there. In terms of the squad, let's take a look at the squad now here. We've got some great players. Oliver Dovin, who in real life is being linked with a lot of English clubs. He's a very good young talent, already capped for Sweden. Potentially Sweden's next big goalkeeper. He is English as well, but has decided to play for Sweden. Other players that have got great potential is Edvin Kurtulus. He is a strong centre-back, can play at right back as well. Other players that I really love the look of are players like Viktor Djukanovic. I've seen him move on other saves to bigger clubs, and the Montenegro international will be a key part of our squad going forward. Other players that I love the look of as well is Yusuf Arabi and Dennis Gall. They're both very good. We'll go for Arabi first. I'm calling him the next Zlatan Ibrahimovic. This guy is going to be top notch for us. As well as Dennis Gall has a big future at this football club, 18 years of age. If Arabi goes, this guy could be our next striker to replace him. So 2 good strikers already there. You can't argue with the squad depth there. Now, in terms of the tactics I'm going to use for this, I am going to use the Holdmyheim 4-2-3-1. So let me just load that up for you now. It is an unbelievable tactic. I've used it a lot in series, as you've seen. It is one of the best tactics out there. Here it is. It is the Allsvenskan 4-2-3-1. This video is on my YouTube channel. I'll put the link to the description in the description for this tactic, I should say. And here we are. I won't go through it because you can download it. We'll just take a quick look at the player roles here. In possession, fairly wide pass into space, pass out of defense, hit early crosses, play for set plays, run a defense, all sort of standard stuff. The standard in transition and out of possession, as you can see here. But now what I will say at the start of this rebuild is that the Swedish nation has different times to what you're used to in terms of their playing times. So some of the season there may be some slots where the Champions League hasn't finished yet, or even the Swedish Cup hasn't finished yet. So do bear in mind this will be a rebuild over 5 league seasons. So without further ado, let's take a look at the first season. This season was full of goals for the football club. We absolutely smashed it, and in Throughout the season, we scored great goals. Majid being a key player, one of the best wonder kids in the world. But as I said at the start, Dekanovic was going to be that guy, and he was scoring a lot of goals for us this season. The style of football we played this year has been absolutely exceptional. Set plays have been one of those things that have been super important to us on this great run, which you will see now. Competition-wise, we couldn't have asked for a better season. We won the Swedish Premier Division in our first season in charge, only losing 2 games throughout the whole season with plus 46 goal difference. We got a really easy UEFA Europa Conference League group, and we smashed it. We're top of the league in that. We've qualified for the knockout rounds, only losing the 1 game in that competition. As I said, the Swedish Cup runs in between seasons, so a little bit of a strange one and something to get used to there. But in terms of transfers, we haven't made many this season. The only player that I have bought in myself is Rodrigo Cal. He is a Brazilian centre-back. We needed a little bit of cover at centre-half, and he provides that. 30 years of age. We needed him to go and be a big part of this squad, and exactly what he's done. He's played most games for us, played most games in the Conference League as well. In terms of the squad, I'll show you how we got on. This is the squad. As you've seen, Dovin has been our number 1. KO has played in defensive midfield or at centre-half. In terms of impressive seasons so far, it's been Nahir Bessari. He's got 16 goals from midfield and 15 assists. This guy is absolutely cooking at the age of 32. One of those Gareth Barry type players in the Swedish mould. Victor Dekanovic got 19 goals as well. Currently, Youssef Arabi is not at the football club. He has gone to Juventus, which you may have seen in a previous encouragement. But here we are. We've had a great season. If we take a look at that schedule, you will see all those big wins. A couple of draws against Häcken, who have been very good against us this season. We'll move on. We'll make some transfers in the transfer window, but we do have the Swedish Cup to play as well as the rest of the UEFA Europa Conference League. Season 2 was a big window for us as we lost another player to Juventus. This time we lost Edvin Kurtulus for £4.1 million. And we did reinvest that money well. We got Kurtulus back on loan as part of the agreement for 1 season, so we don't have to worry about his replacement until the following season. Steven Longcore comes in the midfield. There wasn't many options available for us. We needed another midfield player, and I feel like he's fairly decent for this level. We might have a little overpaid for him a little bit. Adalberto Penradia is a player that I'm very confident will score goals for the football club. He comes in as Youssef Arabi's replacement. Him and Dennis Gould will have great competition up front together this season. But the star signing this season was Chico Geraldes. He is an absolutely unbelievable player to get for the Swedish division. He comes in with a lot of experience, 28 years of age. The Portuguese is coming in to play at Cam for us. Now, in terms of what we've done, in terms of the schedule, as you can see, the competitions are here. We're in the Swedish Cup final against Djurgårdens, and we're in the UEFA Europa Conference League quarterfinals against Toulouse. I didn't think we'd make it this far into the competition, but we're absolutely cooking. If we take a quick look at the schedule before I show you the remainder of this season, Swedish Cup, we've been absolutely perfect, beating Gothenburg 1-0. And as you can see, we come into the Toulouse game after beating Serviette FC. We put them in a tissue, you may say. Now, let's see how we get on to the rest of the competition. Can we do something unbelievable? Win the UEFA Conference League and the Swedish Cup? That would be stuff dreams are absolutely made of. First up in the list of competitions was the Swedish Cup, and we absolutely put Djurgårdens to the sword. Longcar repaying that absolute transfer fee we paid for him, opening the scoring straight away. And then we scored a lot of goals late on, as Longcar in the midfield was absolutely key, passing it to Carlson at right back, finds Penradia, and he grabs a goal in a very vital moment. That killed the game off, and Djurgårdens' confidence was absolutely smashed from there as Mikkelsen, the referee, plays on. Majid goes through, and Majid is capping off his season with an unbelievable goal. We're calling him an unbelievable player and one for the future. And after that, Djurgårdens were definitely done and dusted. They went for it, they had to, and Penradia just moved through the defence to make it 4-0 to bring home our first Swedish Cup. Next up, we played Aston Villa and beat them 1-0 after they battered us for 80 minutes. We had one chance in the game, and it was that man, Becerra, put it past Martinez to win our first European trophy. Another season, another Swedish Premier League trophy. You cannot argue with the success we have had as a domestic boss. Another season, another trophy, as we mentioned. And in UEFA Champions League, we got knocked out by FC Copenhagen in the last qualifying round. And we are on course to qualify for the knockout rounds of the UEFA Europa League. The Champions League this season may have been just a little step too far. In terms of the finances, though, it does improve them vastly. £38 million in the bank from 5 just a season or so ago. We are absolutely cooking. In terms of the transfers, there has been some transfers in as well. We have made some transfers in the January window. I call it a January window. It is the sort of the mid-season window. It would be the correct way to put it there. We did lose some players as well. So first I'm going to go through the players that we lost. Victor Dekanovic goes to Paris Saint-Germain for 8.5 million, but does come back on loan to us for the remainder of the season. As you can see, we lost Marcus Carlson as well. His performances in the UEFA Conference League gave him a move to Porto. Again, we get a loan back as well. I think the loan backs have been absolutely key for us. With that money, we have brought in a couple of additional players. We've brought in Juanme Cuellar, who is a Bolivian international on a free transfer. He is going to be the long-term replacement for Victor Dekanovic out on the wing. But one of the biggest transfer coups in Swedish football history has to be getting Mateus Pereira to the football club. This guy is an unbelievable beast to have at this level. Long term, can we keep him? Will the Middle East come for him? We'll find out. But short term, he's going to be absolutely cracked for us. We did need some Swedish players, so I went out and bought Melker Whittle. He will be a very good utility man and a very good squad player for this football club. A player that I'm excited to get is Gabriel Gudmundsson, the best Swedish left back I could buy. I feel like we needed another left back, and being a Swedish international, this guy ticks all of those boxes for the football club. If we take a look at the schedule before I show you the squad and the stats, we did very, very well in the UEFA Europa League. We've got a couple of games left to qualify. We'll beat Karabag FC. AZ's a little bit of a tougher game, but I feel like we will qualify for those knockout rounds. The squad has been very, very good so far this season, I have to say. Oliver Dovin continuing at number 1. Goals been spread throughout the team, to be honest. Dennis Gould getting in on the goals as well. He's been a player that's been developing for us very, very nicely. He is playing a lot of first team football in the Swedish Premier League. Him and Penradia. Penradia's been injured a little bit, or he's been on international duty, but again, he's scored a fair few goals for us as well. 16 in 25. You can't sniff at that. Chico Geraldes, I said he'll be a big player for us, and he has been. 10 in 32 and 8 assists. Very, very good from the Portuguese there. One player that I just want to shine a little bit of a spotlight on is Simon Strand. 31-year-old right back, plays left back. This guy, he just plays every game. He plays solid every game, and he gets in on an assist or two. This guy could be very much a club legend for us. We're going into the 3rd season now. Can we do something in the Europa League? Will there be any more shock transfers? Let's go. And if you've made it this far into the video, please do like this video and subscribe to the channel. If a few of you just subscribed, it would make a huge difference to me and my channel. Sadly, our UEFA Europa League journey ended in defeat in the knockout rounds to Slavia Prague. Just too strong for us at this current time. As you will see, we didn't get the job done at home against Slavia Prague. That was the difference. We only lost 1-0 away. We should have really beaten them at home, but these things are just not meant to be. We've already won 1 European trophy. I think winning the Europa League is just a little bit step too far for the football club. But we are at the start of the season now. We're again in another Swedish Cup final against Harken. We've got the league to kick off. This time, obviously, as you saw, we got knocked out in the Europa League. In terms of the transfers this season, there has been a fair few. I have to say we've done fairly well. We haven't sold anyone, but we did bring in a couple of players. A right back in Albi Doka for a couple of 100,000 is not bad. I had him on my arrow save. Very good squad player. I expect the same from him here, to be perfectly honest. And then Kamil Pitakorski. I've definitely killed his name, but he's a very good defender coming in from RB Salzburg. He will be a great addition at the back for us and can play in that defensive midfield slot as well. Now, if we just take a quick look at the finances again, we're in that £30 million mark. It's very, very good for a Swedish football club. I don't anticipate until we get into the Champions League proper that this will actually increase. But before, we kick off the season and I show you the next season, let's just take a look at the squad and how it's going. We've got Shaquille Pinas, very, very good Suriname international, very, very solid. Other players that I'm excited to have this season, again, are players like Wanmei Quayer. I think he'll come in. He's done a big job for us. He's going to be a great player for this football club. And I'm excited to see the development of Dennis Gall. He's getting better and better each game. He's getting more goals under his belt. He will be probably one of our starting strikers in a few years' time. But now, let's simulate the rest of this season. This was the first season we qualified for the UEFA Champions League, and the gap in quality was vast. Ousmane Dembele and PSG put us to the sword. Nuno Mendes kicking off the scoring in the first 6 minutes of the game. That was when I realised our boys are not quite ready for the elite level of European competition. But we showed the hunger, we showed the fight, and Dennis Gall, as I said, would develop into a key player for us and scored a fabulous goal past Donnarumma in goal. But that just seemed to anger PSG, if I'm perfectly honest with you. They just came forward wave after wave, and Kolo Muani was scoring goals for fun. A brilliant finish there past Oliver Dovin in goal. Nothing you could do about any of these PSG goals. A humbling of quality, a wake-up call, and a realisation for us that the elite football in Europe was just a little bit step beyond us currently. Our woes in Europe sort of continued in the Premier League as well. We had our worst season that we've had to date so far. We only won the league by 10 points. We lost 5 games this season. And as you can see, I don't expect us to qualify for the knockout rounds of the Champions League here. We got 1 point from 4 games. I mean, we've had a tough schedule, as you will see. The schedule's been absolutely terrible. Look at this. A nice little 10-0 win in the cup. But after that, we played teams like Tottenham. We went on a run where we didn't win for 5 games. And then we beat Malmo 4-1 somehow. Lose to PSG and then got absolutely thumped by IFK Norrköping 5-1. One of their players scored 5 goals against us. I think it's Ida Gudjonsson's son. He absolutely battled us. Losing to Leipzig. And then we got 2, maybe we could win one of those games out of Copenhagen and Salzburg. But it's been a woeful season in European competitions for the football club. We did make some more transfers. As you know, the season starts and ends at different times to most European football. So I managed to get a few players in on a free transfer. Victor Johannesson coming on a free, Swedish goalkeeper, to provide cover for Oliver Dovin, who's turned into a proper quality keeper. Never had Lucien Aguame before, Cameroonian international from Inter Milan. Brings quality to the centre of the park. I'm hoping he steps up for us. He's had a fairly decent season with us, to be fair. 6 goals in 20 games. Can't argue too much with that. But the real quality and the absolute star of the show at right back is Tariq Lamptey. Can't believe we got him on a free, released by Brighton after many injury problems with the football club. We're paying him big, big money. 23 grand a week in the Swedish division is like bank-breaking money. So he needs to bring success to this football club. He is a big, big player. This is an unbelievable coup for the football club. One of the biggest coups I've ever had on Football Manager is getting Lamptey to come to play in the Swedish division. And that's kept our finances in and around the same place despite all that Champions League money. The wage bill is fairly high. We're not making profit each month. So hopefully we can keep, overall a decent balance for this football club. I'm excited to go into the next season. The squad we've got here is absolutely top notch. I think domestically no one will touch us. We'll continue to win the trophies we do, like the Swedish Cups, like the Swedish Premier Leagues. But players have had big seasons. Wanmei Quayer, Matthias Pereira, Dennis Gall's had a massive season. 36 goals for this young man. He's kicked Penradia out of the top place there. Tariq Lamptey got 10 assists in 18 games. We're cooking and we're building something going into next season. Our biggest ever transfer window so far, and I feel like we've brought in so many big players. We did lose a few players as well. We lost Nathaniel Adjei. He never really played for us, to be perfectly honest. He was good, but as you will see, he wasn't the best. And I think going to Porto for 1.6 million was probably the best for him. He didn't want to sign a new contract either. Matthias Pereira was a sad one to lose, but he goes to China and does an Oscar and gets 47 grand a week. Fair play to him. Go and have a great career, lad. He was very, very good for us. His replacement is Marin Petkov. Now, I love a Bulgarian wonder kid. Bulgarian wonder kids are my favourite on the game. He comes in. I've never had him before, but I feel like he's going to be top notch for us. 3 goals in 2 Swedish Cup games would indicate that this man knows where the back of the net is Chumi is a centre-back that comes in highly recommended by scouts. I'm a little bit sceptical about this centre-back, but we do need some better players at the back, and he's a ball-playing Spanish centre-back, so you can't really argue with that. I'm hoping he brings out his inner Carlos Puyol. And then Thomas Christiansen is a Danish defender who we picked up fairly cheap. He's our best centre-back. I feel like he is going to be great, 24 years of age as well, probably going to be a club captain at some point, or maybe not. I just, manifesting these things. Amandu Dante is a quality left back. It's a position we've struggled in. Goodmanson, not really of the quality that we need now. We're trying to push on in the Champions League. And this guy, let's give him a chance. He's played a 7.10 in the games that he's played. Looks very good. Malian international. Can't argue with it. Fairly pacey as well. Particularly pacey for this league. Now, the club finances are looking the same as ever. £36 million seems to be the finances we're going for at this football club. In terms of the squad, you'll see it here. Dovin continues to be the number one. Players like Lamptey are still at the football club. I don't know how we've kept him, to be honest. Darko Nesmanovic came in last season, been very, very good. Croatian player. In and out of the Croatian national side, doesn't play for them as much as I would have liked or have hoped, to be perfectly honest. Wanmei Quayle still at the football club, and Dennis Gould continuing his run and his development at this club. I don't know how someone hasn't taken him. Juventus haven't taken a chance on him, or any of the other teams. I feel like if we can keep him for the rest of the couple of seasons we've got during this rebuild, we'll have a very, very strong time. Now, let's go and see how we got on in the 4th season of this rebuild. A much better season for us this season in the Swedish Premier League. 82 points and an unbeaten season for the first time for us. As you can see here, we did pick up some more signings, and I will go into those, and I'm very excited by Ernest Numa. Champions League form hasn't picked up just yet. We're in the same position you saw us last season, but we do have some winnable games, and we have made some brilliant, brilliant transfers, I have to say, in this window. We've got players like Ernest Numa on a free transfer. We're overpaying for him, but he is the quality of player that we need if we want to kick on in competitions like the UEFA Champions League. He will be an absolute key member of this football club for us. Dor Turgerman, again, highly recommended by our scouts. Never had him, seen him on lots of Wonder Kid lists. Let's give him a try. Then Dennis Gould needs some competition up front as Penradia left the football club as well. Rami Al-Hajj is another player that was highly recommended by scouts. He got dropped on a free transfer. He's now a Lebanese international, Swedish born, so he is a homegrown player for that Champions League registration stuff. Cheap wage. I mean, this guy's, even if he doesn't do well for us, we'll make money on him. So that is exactly what I am hoping for here. The squad is very stacked, I have to say. A lot of the same players are there. Players like Pitorski is a key man for us. Lamptey, as you would imagine, is another player that's absolutely class for us. Marin Petkov had a great season, 20 goals, 10 assists. Dennis Gould, another 28 goal season. This guy is absolutely cooking it up in this rebuild. Now, if we look at the schedule, as you'll see, Swedish Cup, smashed it. We won the Swedish Cup again last year. We've won it every year that we've been in it, as you know. We do have a couple of winnable games, and if we can win them, we might sneak into the Champions League knockout rounds. Panathinaikos and Rangers, we should be beating them at home. I'm just manifesting it. I'm hoping we can do it. We had some good results in the league, as you've seen. Beating Malmo and Hacken back-to-back is very, very strong. Slightly good win in the Champions League, just about pipping AEK Athens. Juventus, who's still all of our players, beat us as well. Inter and Man United absolutely humbled us away from home. But if we can win these 2 games in the Champions League, I feel like we actually could qualify. And then we've got Chelsea and Atletico Madrid to round it off. I mean, let's see, lads. And that's exactly what we did in the Champions League. We beat Panathinaikos first, 3-0. Absolutely dominated them. Kicked off the scoring in the 10th minute. Dennis Gould pouncing on a mislaid back pass there to put us 1 up. And from there, we absolutely battered the living Jesus out of them. We were so good in this game. We looked like we were potential Champions League winners, in my opinion. Okay, yes, it is only Panathinaikos, but Numa with that quality to make it 2-0. We needed a win against Rangers and something against Chelsea and Atletico if we were to progress. After beating Rangers and drawing 2-2 against Chelsea, it came down to Atletico Madrid at home, and Christiansen, proving his worth in the first 5 minutes, nodded it past Oblak on a way to a very good 2-0 win. Pouncing on another mistake in the midfield, Gabri Vega, our new signing with Numa, puts us into the knockouts. And as you can see from the competitions, the standard Swedish Cup final, but we are in the quarterfinals of the Champions League against Arsenal after we dumped out big boys, Manchester City. Now, don't ask me how we did it. We've beaten Marseille in the first knockout round. Then we had home Man City. We beat them 4-1. Dennis Gall with an unbelievable hat-trick. Then a late goal from Dor Turgeman to seal the tie. We went to Manchester City. We put our backs against the wall. Haaland scored, but Numa was the man who kept us and made us go through in this instance. I couldn't believe it. One of my biggest wins ever in football Manager. One of my most proud wins as well, I have to say. Transfers this season, as you saw, we did get Gabri Veiga in on a free transfer towards the back end of the season. He was released from the Middle East and we gave him a £34,000 contract and he's like, yep, lad, come on, big bonuses, just get him in the squad. This lad is absolute quality, don't let me tell you that. But we did also bring in Fanzi Razib on a 1.9 million transfer. We needed a holding midfield player, Australian international, 18 caps, looks very good, got some great mentals, some decent technicals, and we can work on those physicals in the middle of the park as well. In terms of the finances now, you'll see £60 million, big money after qualifying for the Champions League and going through those knockout rounds. How far will we get in the Champions League? Comment now, and let's see how we finish off this rebuild. We humbled Arsenal in the first leg, but we were off to a great start in this game as Ernest Numa progressed the ball down the left, passed it in, and Gabri Veiga looked like the tie was over at the Emirates, and I was absolutely jumping up and down because I am a Spurs fan, but it was late goals that absolutely killed us. Matthias Tell being the man who got Arsenal back into the game with Martinelli there, just finessed it, and it was one of those goals you can't do anything about, but Tell was the driving force in this game. Everything sort of flowed through him. However, we did go 2-1 up, and we should have gone very defensive, but I just wanted to play our balance ball. Numa again finessed it in, and it was looking like we were going to make the Champions League semi-finals. And believe it or not, Arsenal had Kepa in goal. We gave away a silly penalty, and Bukayo Saka does what Saka does. He scores penos, made it 2-2, but it was these late goals. The referee didn't blow up after this one. We would have taken it to extra time if this one had gone in, but it was Kieran Tierney into Havertz. Havertz scored, and then we fell apart. Mentally, we just didn't have it in our game to come back at this point, and it was another last-minute goal from the Gunners to put us out in the quarterfinals, but it was a brave effort from the lads, and I'm very proud of them. And that leaves us at the end of the rebuild with another Swedish Premier Division, so 5 Swedish Prems. 1 defeat this season, so no back-to-back undefeated seasons. We did win the Swedish Cup last time. I will go through the trophies at the end of this video. What I want to show you is some of the transfers that we brought in. Chris Brady will be joining the club after the rebuild, but we did bring in players like Eric Smith on a free transfer to bolster the defence. Swedish player, needed him for the registration rules. Calvin Ramsey comes in at right back as we lost Tariq Lamptey. Milan van Ewijk, he comes in as well to play at right back. Him and Ramsey will be great additions to this football club. El Bilal Toure, we needed another striker desperately. Dennis Gall was very good, but he needed some competition up front, and getting Bilal Toure on a free is unbelievable. This man is a goal machine. Go out and get him, lads, if you've never had him before, particularly if he comes on a free transfer. You cannot argue with that. And this is what the squad was looking like at the end of this rebuild. Dovin was there from start to finish. Quality goalkeeper. We'll always try and get him on saves that I'm doing in the future. As you can see, players like Nemashis made it. Aguame was still there. Gabri Veiga, Marin Petkov, Jamie Cuellar, another one. Ernest Numa. Melka Widdell is actually, he is the club captain. Doesn't play as often, but a very good squad. And I feel like we had a great squad for the end of this rebuild. We've left them in an unbelievable place financially as well. £74 million in the bank. We've really built this club. And not only this club as well, we've built up the Swedish Premier Division. Our success in Europe has made it the 12th best league in Europe. Without that being the aim, I think that's absolute quality. Better than the Czech First Division and the Greek Super League as well. But before we go and before we finish this video, let's take a look at our manager's timeline and see how we got on in terms of trophies won. As you can see, we won 10 trophies. The Swedish Premier Division 5 times. 4 Swedish Cups because, they finish in the seasons that we can't do. And a UEFA Europa Conference League. One of the most unbelievable rebuilds I've done so far. Probably my favourite one, I have to say, with the difference of timing in the leagues, the players that we got, and the football that we played. It's sad to leave Hammarby, but that is the end of this rebuild. Let me know in the comments below which team you want to see next, and I will get them done. If not, thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you on another one.